Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for April 12th, 2022, Tuesday, a little after 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having a Time for Change call tomorrow night at 9 p.m. There's a lot of information circulating out there, a lot of things. So we're going to square off with that and straighten out some stuff. I think people are really confused about some things. We must choose to remember that we are not our thoughts. Just notice who or what is watching these thoughts. This conscious witness is a pointer to who you really are. Those whirling dust storms of ideas may be distracting each of us from hearing the divine hum of our innermost being. Keep watching the watcher, and the dust, the dust will settle. Keep watching the watcher, and the dust will settle. Obviously, in this massive shift happening on this planet, unprecedented, how do we radiate love everywhere we go? In this kind of like a storm that some of us decide to step into, or we stay in the center. When I look inside and I see that I am nothing, that is wisdom. When I look inside and see that I am nothing, that is wisdom. When I look outside and see that I am everything, that is love. And between these two, my life turns as a Vedanta mirage. The vibration of love is our most natural state of being, believe it or not. When we are completely relaxed without any agenda, fear, or worry, love automatically radiates from our hearts in all directions. Love will always be at our core. It is a vibration which sparks the light of consciousness within us, and we cannot change this. What has grown over and on top of it through the years is the veil called the mind, which can be filled with judgments, impositions, demands, and beliefs that hide this purely enlightened state. The mind acts like a movie projector, utilizing its conscious light within a blast of plethora of images onto the world and ourselves. It can be easy to get caught up in the mind. The mind is very addicting, more than cocaine. Its fantastic imaged and imagined illusions and emotional fabrications appear very real, enticing, and yet have nothing to do with the reality of our true essence. We are always radiating the purest source of love at the very core. If you want to feel more love flowing through your life and become passionate again, then focus all of your attention and energy as often as you can on a genuine, loving, gentle energy radiating from your heart. It is a highly contagious experience. You'll notice an immediate shift inside, and this will be reflected in the people who you hang out with. Nobody can maintain a contracted state of worry or fear very long when you're in this loving heart feeling and vibration. They will either have to expand their heart as well or leave your presence. You'll find that by living mainly through your heart, love continuously pours out on its own into all people and situations. When the head is no longer in charge, the heart naturally opens and takes the lead. When the heart, and with the heart as your master, you become like a newborn baby again, who is overflowing with laughter, joy, and bliss. This enlightening experience manifests because we become more often, more open, surrendered, and vulnerable to life. this life. We become unaware of what others are thinking, as we are deeply connected with our heart center of bliss. From this self-loving space, we become fearless and can be outrageous in our expression of joy for life. Crazy bubbles of laughter and sweet pockets of joy are emanating from us all throughout the day. To open up your love valve now, start thinking about something or someone you love. Imagine you have a love dial on your chest and practice turning up the volume on this feeling as high as you can. Love everything and everyone. Love as often as possible. Bathing in this energy, practicing the feeling of love, be devoted to being a heart-centered human being. Whenever you, wherever, whenever you go, speak from your heart. Think with your heart. Feel with your heart. Let every word you utter come from your heart all the time. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Winston Churchill. Don't waste your time on anything that has no love. This life is too precious to be throwing it away on anything that doesn't lead to absolute joy and bliss. By going where the love is, you'll naturally be living from a deeper sensitivity, which has a soft, kind, gentle flavor to it. The most enlightened beings know that the best heart ingredients they can dish out, the more yummy the casserole is served at the end of their day. How much love do you want to feel at the end of your day? The more that we practice being heart-centered in our communication and human interaction, the easier our life becomes. We'll naturally be radiating a cozy, warm, healing vibration to all. The more often you're being heart-centered and the more conscious you'll become, your heart is where your real power is found. All other power is false and ego-based, a fantasy that will come and go. Your spiritual heart energy is eternal. The love that flows through it remains with you forever. This enlightened, loving heart radiates an intense love on its own accord when the mind is still, solitary, and centered in the divine, infinite universe. Love is a natural effect of a quiet mind. Just by being relaxed in your heart allows you to be rooted and grounded in a perpetual loving experience of your life. Anytime you encounter another human being who is responding to you from a not-so-loving space, take a step back from the situation. Focus on connecting deeper with your own heart. Imagine your heart is brighter than the sun, and let this light shine in all directions, melting everything in its path. One of the fastest ways to ignite this magnificent sun on your inner world is to take 10 deep breaths into your heart. Meditate on the understanding that love is radiating at the core, shining everywhere, into everything and everyone. To find peace and love with all beings, you will need to be fierce with the ego at times and dissolve its hardness with love. Radiating gentleness is the only way to win. The soft always overcomes the hard. The soft always overcomes the hard. When you're persistently flowing warm, loving heart energy, no matter how upset, contracted, or demanding the other may be, they have no chance. They will eventually give in. Just keep feeling the love radiating, not just from your chest, yet all throughout your body. Let the heart be bigger than your physical body, and know it's coming from an infinite source of energy. There is no lack of energy in this infinite universe. You are always connected to the infinite source, especially when you don't believe you are. You are the supreme being And yet, thinking yourself to be separate from it, you strive to become united with it. What is stranger than this, Ramana? We all of us, each of us, are the supreme being. And yet, thinking ourselves to be separate from it, we strive to become united with it. What is stranger than this? If you ever feel stuck or lost, remember that love is always available to you. Simply relax deep inside and you'll see it's there. Always listen to your body. Ask it what specifically you are still here to learn about love. You'll never feel hurt, lonely, lost, or deprived of life again once your practice is strong to bathing in this loving frequency. We naturally radiate love everywhere. When we stop focusing out there and put our attention consistently on our heart energy within, experiencing this perpetual love, this love vibe, means giving up all your ambitions on the outer world and devoting your life to experiencing the radiance of pure love. This does not mean stop working, helping others, or doing what you love to do. On the contrary, you will do even more service to others as you feel all this great love pouring through you. You won't have so much ambition to get ahead of the other rats in the race. You'll be too relaxed, at peace, and enjoy. You'll have stopped efforting so hard to achieve greater happiness in the future because you have found the greatest love you were seeking was always within you, right in the now. Whatever it is that any of us want to manifest in this life can and will be ours in a matter of time. If we desire a great love life, soulmate relationship, an abundance of money, a fulfilling career, a new house, a car, perfect health, we have the power inside of us to create it. The secret to effortless success is in one simple thing: learning how to increase your energy and consciousness, which will turn you into a powerful manifesting magnet. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted. I'm sure that we all are. And the first thing, always first thing, morning, noon, and night, relax the body. That body you're in, relax it. How do we relax it? The breath. Focus on your breath, easy and slowly in through the nose, easy and slowly out through the mouth. Focus on the breath. The breath is divine perfection. The breath, we come into these bodies as gods. We power them up. Lungs, everything come online. Oxygen is produced. And the breath sustains the body so that the God can experience the physical form. Without the breath, without the air, we couldn't. We would have to leave. And the breath stills the ego mind and the subconscious mind. It stills it because we leave it alone. There is no way that you could participate in the ego mind being in the now. It knows it can't be there. It doesn't exist there in the now. That's why it does everything it can throughout this life and any other life that we inhabit to try to push us outside more and more and more. Push us outside of ourselves. Send these just manipulative thoughts so that we're tricked and massaged into out there, not in here. So you can see why so many people have a difficult time staying or being in the now, and not only that, staying in the now, because the ego mind is there and said, no, you got to go, here, go past, future, past, future, future, past, faster, past, future. And that's it, period. And that's what just gets us all miscombobulated. So the breath, focusing on the breath, easing the body, de-stressing the body, letting things just fall off. And if things hang on and they keep coming up, bubbling up, and it's fear. Usually fear causes these things to bubble up. Fear of the unknown, fear of many things. So what happens? We face it. And we peruse and say, okay, so this, you keep bubbling up in front of me, so I'll face you and we'll see what the deal is here. Why am I generating this fear? Where is this fear coming from? It's about you. What about, and whatever the fear may be. You'll find that once you face it, it will dissolve. If it comes back, you do the same thing, it will dissolve. And eventually, it won't be there. When we hold on to things, we stress the body. That's what it is. Stress is the number one destroyer of the body. So when we know this, we choose to finally go within and not stop, not backtrack, but go within, stay within. Go within, stay within. Can you imagine that each of us decide to go within and stay within? The ego mind, and we would stay in the now? The ego mind wouldn't exist. Neither would the subconscious mind. There wouldn't be expectations and attachments. They wouldn't exist. Now, isn't it interesting that we have become so habitualized to the external physical material world that we believe that's our natural state of being? And it's uncomfortable for us to go within. And that's why so many choose to stay out there, because they fear the unknown, which is silly, because the unknown is the God within us through the journey within. The love is there, the happiness is there, the bliss is there, the joy is there, the peace is there, the happiness is there. And every one of us can do this. It is up to each of us to choose. We already know what the external life is, right? We know what the material physical world is. We all know that. We know that like the back of our hand. But what we don't know is what's inside. What's inside the package? Some people get curious enough where they go in. And then as they go in deeper and deeper, they decide, there's no reason or no way I'm going to leave. Now, when you look inside the body that you're in, you'll see 7 lights. Go from the tailbone to the top of the head. 7 lights from the tailbone to the top of the head. What are they? They're spirit etheric energy. They're known, on this planet, they're known as chakras. The definition of chakra is wheel. They're wheels of light. And the colors are very deep and vibrant. They don't, you don't see those kind of colors on this planet. And we, the gods that are in these bodies, are spirit etheric energy, omnipotently powerful, and we flow through the body. These wheels of light, they're connected to everything with this body. Everything. Emotions, character, personality, everything, right down to the quantum core. Every organ function, every blood vessel. So doesn't it make sense that eventually, as we choose, we go within, discover that we are the power of healing these bodies that we're in? And we will, just by acknowledging it, we're 50% of the way there. Now picture yourself standing in front of 3 paths. You're in the center. The center's the now. Okay? And the one on the left is the past, and one on the right is the future. So you look at these paths. You're you look at how they're made, how they're constructed, and you'll notice that each path has the trees that form a canopy. And it's a shimmering gold, the leaves, the branches, the bark, everything. The path itself is a brilliant emerald green flaming grass. Looks like grass. Now, the only difference you notice in these three paths is that the past is worn. It's been used a lot. And the future is worn. It's been used a lot. And you notice that the one you're standing on, the now, it looks, might as well say brand new. So all of us go and visit the past. The past can be good for us from the standpoint of reminiscing, reviewing things that we have done in this life so far that was fun, enjoyable moments and situations and stuff. And we also look at some of the things that we did that were not so good, that reminds us not to do again or to do it differently. Now, we will go into our libraries. We all have libraries of the subconscious mind. Subconscious mind copies everything. It copies everything the ego mind generates. It copies comments, other people's comments, thoughts, everything. So you can see how big the library is for each of us. It's massive. Past lives, future lives, it's all there. So we'll open the door, turn on the light, go to the shelves, get some movies, some books, and some pictures, sit in the easy chair, and we'll watch the movies. And we'll review some of the pictures and read a little bit of the book. But we don't stay there. Once we're done, we put everything away, and we turn off the lights and shut the door and move forward in life. And on occasion, we revisit. But some of us stay there. We stay there. And we stay there. I don't believe it's conscious. I believe it's unconscious. And some of us stay there so long that we end up bringing the past into a future that doesn't exist, create that future from the past, and relive that past in the future, in that future. That's why a lot of people will say no matter what they do, we always seem to end up here. Now, we all go into the future. We all want to know things. We're curious beings, so we want to know. And sometimes we get anxious, we get in a hurry, and we get frustrated. And we get we get impatient. So we'll go into the future and we'll ask external authorities, I want to know about this. I want to know when I'm going to have enough money to enjoy my life. I want to know when I'm going to get a new job. I want to know when I'm going to meet my lifelong romantic partner. I want to know these. I want to know when I'm going to be really healthy enough to enjoy my life. And so people tell us. They tell us, and through card readings and other things, and then we take it in. Now the ones that believe it, then there's ones that believe it, and then there's ones that just say, "Oh, okay, what the heck." But some people embrace it and believe it, and they actually manifest it. But they don't know that. They don't know they're manifesting it, but they do. And lo and behold, the very thing that they were inquiring about manifests. And they didn't have any expectations that it would manifest. Okay? You ever notice that when you intend something for yourself, right? And you're not really, you're in detail, and you're very, it's like one thing that you're thinking about, feeling about, and you describe it, and you're not aware that you've sent that out to the universe. So you just go about your way. And lo and behold, sometime down the road, downstream thinking, it happens. And it totally catches you by surprise. And you weren't expecting it. And you didn't have any attachments to it. You just put it out there and left it alone. And it came. How many times have you found yourself saying this or others saying, I had no idea this would happen. I never expected that this would ever happen in my life. It's something I used to dream about, but it actually has happened for me, not to me, but for me. Every single one of us have just a super power of manifestation. Anything. It's anything. It doesn't mean always to be material. There's a lot of areas that we can manifest. What type of life are you desiring or wanting to live? You know, what type of surroundings? Not temporary, but full time. Not intermittent, but all the time. So, and some people will answer, but they don't put a lot of, they're intense, they state it, and they let it go. And then they go about their business. But see, then there's those who they won't leave it alone. They won't leave it alone. And you know what? We're all vulnerable to that. None of us are exempt. It won't leave us. We won't leave it alone. So we fixate on it. And then we start to suffer because we worry, stress, and fear about it. And what that does is it pushes it away. It's like someone's got a string, right? And it's on this gold ball. And you want to get the gold ball, so every time you bend over, someone pulls a string and it goes away further. And then you get more frustrated. So you walk up to the ball and you try to grab the ball and someone pulls a string and then the ball flops away from you. And you get more frustrated and you get more anxiety-filled, hurried, and irritated. And so you go down and try to get the ball, you pull, and the string pulls again, and the ball moves every time you do it. So finally, you just decide, I'm going to leave the ball alone, I'm going to go about my business. And then lo and behold, out of the clear blue, the ball appears with no string. How did that get there? Now, we know that when we enter these bodies, we power them. We power them to a certain extent. And everything goes online. We are heaven. Heaven is not a place. It's you, it's me, it's all of us, the gods that we are in these bodies. That's a matrix trick, that heaven is a place that you go to. And the gates open, and there you are. So we're heaven on earth, the body's earth, and the God is heaven. And we're consciously aware. Consciously aware means is that we know through our heart minds that we are of and from the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. So every step we take on this planet, we're creating paradise. No ifs, ands, buts about it. You can visualize the paradise. Every step you take, it changes everything. Not only that, we're shining our light. Where's light come from? The God that you are, the love that you're made of, the pure consciousness. There's no light that's compared to, you can compare it to. It is so bright and brilliant. Now, some of us might discover yet in this lifetime that when we leave these bodies, when we decide to leave them, and we're out in the sacredness of space as this beautiful, like bright white ball, pure energy, consciousness, we're the light, right? Why? Another light comes in, tunnel, whatever. Why would we enter it when we know we are the light? It's a matrix trap. And if you do enter it, the whole process starts all over again. So we are transforming this planet into a God planet paradise. And you can see, right, All you have to do is through your heart minds, motion pictures, watch the animation, watch the full motion video of all of this dark matter leaving the planet, going up in the everywhere, all over the surface. And as you watch it go up, you're watching it, and it seems to be absorbed into this pure white light, which is love. And it is no more, gone. So you see, as it's coming up, and you look up, and there's nothing but light in the upper atmosphere surrounding the planet. Nothing, the brightest of the brightest, highest of the highest, purest of the purest, eternal love. And this light literally is all you see. And when you put your eyes down and you see this dark matter, this black, goopy stuff, literally lifting off the planet, almost into a vapor, kind of, and it literally goes into this light, and it's gone. It's vanished. It's completely absorbed into this brilliant love light energy. Now, if you were to take a starship off planet, and you got out far enough, and you looked at the planet, so it's the size of a basketball, and you saw the planet glow. It glows. This planet glows. I mean, for goodness sakes, we've got 8 billion gods in physical form, in humanoid form, and then we have all the gods in other forms experiencing all the different forms. So we're God planet paradise that glows. And you would see all the lights in the universe would be like a lit candle in a dark room. No comparison. Now, we have parts of ourselves that are asleep. We know this. Parts of the gods that we are asleep. Now, they don't participate, but we deeply love them just as much as we deeply love the parts of ourselves that are awake. And we communicate with the ones that are awake, consciously aware to a certain extent. And it doesn't matter if we're 9 billion light years away from each other. So that's the illusion. We're one. We always will be. No matter where it seems to be that we're at in all existence and beyond, we are one. Period. We are one. So that's all the light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. It's the archangels, cherubim, seraphim archetypes, ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, El Morya, Bendantia, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua. All the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, Agartha, and beneath earth. All of our loved ones who have ascended out of physical form in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. All the galactics, the celestials, and off-worlders. Now, light energy beings on and above and below this planet, Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now, they're in different light spectrums. You got red, infrared, violet, ultraviolet, super blue, blue, green, super green. I mean, a lot of different light spectrums. Now, they come in shapes, colors, sizes, forms, and configurations. Because of the eyes that we have with these bodies, we only see 1% of what is. So we don't see them, but they're there. Now, these bodies are dependent on a particular group. There's part of this group for these bodies to continue to sustain us, the gods. This is the fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, and the minotaur. Now, you can ask your body any time, can you survive without air, water, fire, earth, wood, or ether? And the answer is no. We would be forced to leave these bodies prematurely. You see how these bodies are so dependent on those elements, those magics. For without them, we would not be able to inhabit these physical forms. Now, the ascended masters, they have ascended into physical form. They have mastered physical form. They have ascended out of physical form. They hold pure consciousness God form. We have ascended into physical form. We are in the process of mastering physical form. We are creating our experiences to perfect our creation. Now, the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetypes, this is civilization that vibrates at a different frequency than we do. We don't see them like we see each other. We don't interact with them mostly like we interact with each other. And they appear, and they're kind of helping us to get out of our amnesia. And they give us a lot of different messages. They're there to help us at times, and comfort us, and nurture us. And they have been doing this for thousands and thousands of years. There's one message that they deliver in many different ways to us, amongst all the messages that they do deliver. This one is, simply put, isn't it absolutely magna glorious to be alive in these bodies? And since we have amnesia, we got to be reminded, wouldn't you think? And so we begin to focus on the body, and we start to understand how phenomenal these bodies are and how fortunate we are to have one. Now, in our God form, right? We don't taste, right? Eat, have a nice dinner or something, lunch, breakfast. We don't make love. We don't kiss. We don't hold hands. We don't go to the bathroom. We don't sleep. We don't laugh. We don't cry. We don't do any of that stuff. You imagine not doing any of that? You know, going out on a beautiful spring day and taking in the warm breezes and the animals and nature and the trees and everything, and just chilling. We don't do any of that. Isn't that wild? And we spend most of our time tied up in the material physical world, distracted. And we never get to the God that we are. So that's why we practice being in gratitude 24/7, being gentle, kind, generous, and humble with ourselves 24/7. That's why we do it, to get us into that understanding on how fortunate we are to have these bodies. We don't see through these eyes. We're a ball of omnipotently powerful light. Love, light, energy, right? Don't have hands, don't have feet, don't have legs. Whole different ballgame. So while we're in these bodies, we're deeply grateful for the archangels to assist us on a continual basis, and the angels and cherubim and seraphim, so that we have a chance of remembering. And we all know that is the journey within. Now, they can surround any one of us at any one time. Tens of millions, tens of billions. Because their vibrational frequency, they can hold a large number in a small area. Now, the off-worlders, celestials, galactics, over 1,000 species, civilizations travel through the solar system every day. And remember, we got over 160 planets and trillions throughout the universes every day. We're familiar with a small group: Sirians, Arcturians, Andromedans, Feline, Zeta Reticuli, Anunnaki, Nords, Greys, Draco Reptilian, Golden Pyramid, Avian. This particular group's been assisting us in our physical evolution and our enlightenment in our ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. Now, we're all gathered, always. We're never apart. The illusion is the separation. And the total liberation of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, in full swing. We're focused on this planet, this liberation, in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. We're all one. We're all love. And we're all God. And our God, force, love, light, energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. And it continues to intensify, continues to expand, and grow. Now, we immediately form a white fire circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This white fire emanates from the God source within each and every single one of us. It is pure, deep, eternal love, the highest of the highest high vibrational frequencies. And it's flooding, saturating, permeating this planet. All life, the highest supreme value in the universe, is on and above and below. You see as the planet shimmers, atmosphere shimmers. Everything is shimmering. Now we begin to ascend above the planet. We're immediately met with this massive ocean of glitter. Now, the way to describe the glitter, we look at things that we've experienced here on this planet and we intensify them. So we look at a grand finale fireworks display. Trillion times more intense and expansive than anything we've experienced on the planet. Same with the laser light grand finale display, laser light show, and then the globe, the ballroom globe, with all the mirrors that reflects all the light and floods the room with the light. Except this one's a trillion times more intense and a trillion times larger. So we look at all of these three that we depict. We bring them into a crescendo, massive crescendo, and it expands and explodes into this glorious, phenomenal display everywhere. And of course, we're looking at the reflective points, which are everywhere. And then we find that there are just these little tiny microscopic mirrors perfectly etched that we enter. And we discover that we are all learning from each other, teaching each other and ourselves. Everything. We were told that the tree is life because that's separation. So that's the illusion. We believe that we're separate from that because of these bodies, see. No, the tree's right down there. It's 100 feet away. It's not part of me. So, but and reality, you enter that tree and you sustain that tree. And the elements help sustain that tree so that you can stay in that tree. To experience the physicality of the tree, the physical experience of being a tree. We do that with a lot of things on this planet. It's what us gods do. We experience things. You can find out for yourself. Whatever you want to be, to know what it's like to be, whatever the physical vessel is, you can focus on it. And you go into deep silence, you focus on a rock, a tree, a bird, whatever it may be, and for a moment, you will actually know what it's like to be that. We're immediately met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all, the gods that we are in these bodies, that we are the power of healing. We are then met with the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all, the gods that we are within these bodies, of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We are then met with the white fire. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all that from head to toe, inside and out, we are protected with a white fire armor, way beyond the armor on this planet. This emanates from the God source, the gods, the kingdom of God, the heaven, all of us in these bodies. It is the highest of the highest high vibrational frequency. Pure, deep, eternal love. So no lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, no demons, no attachments ever can invade us. Period. They know that when we hold this type of vibrational frequency, they'll vaporize. They get real close to us, so they leave us alone. Yet, only you have the power. That if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency low enough, whether consciously or unconsciously, through hatred, anger, greed, fear, worry, stress, envy, jealousy, revenge, hurriedness, you will lower your vibrational frequency low enough to create a breach in your white fire armor, allowing all the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come flooding in. Then we have possibilities of demon possession, attachments, and many other things. Now, if you do decide to do this, you're immediately met with a double column of light. We created this double column of light to remind us all, starting with the first part of it, which is the purple transmuting flame. This reminds us all that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness where they are, no more. We are then met with the second part of this column of light, the violet ray. We created this part of the column of light to remind us all that we can bring in the violet ray right behind the purple transmuting flame, cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony to the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We are then met with the golden white pink light. This is a column of light that we created, the gods that we are within these bodies, to remind us that we are the sun, the sunlight, the rain, the rainbows. The sun sets and the sun rises. The oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams, the trees, the forests, the soils, the sky, the clouds, the mountains. We are everything, and everything is us. Always has been, always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. Excuse me. So the next time you see an ocean front, a mountain view, starry lit night sky, rainbow, sunset, sunrise, we've been trained in our amnesia to believe we're separate from all of this. So identify it and say it's beautiful, and it is beautiful because it's you. It's the God that you are. It's the God that we all are in these bodies. So your perspective changes, it shifts. You go through the heart mind, not the head, not the ego mind. That's the God that I am. That sunset, that's the God that I am. That mountain view, that's the God that I am. That ocean front, that's the God that I am. It's a whole different understanding. And it is actually our natural state of being. So we continue to ascend above the planet. Some of us decide to step outside of our physical form, hover effortlessly above it if we're carrying physical form. The reason we do it is because it's absolutely, it's a ball, it's fun. And we can. We come into full contact with this massive crystalline light tower. We created this tower. It's larger than the solar system and beyond. Now, in the center of the column, we notice that we see this massive oblong sphere. In the center of the sphere is a golden white ball of light. It, in turn, is surrounded by multicolored rings of light that seem to go to infinity and beyond. This has created a super bright, white, misty cloud, sparkling and reflecting. And it's absorbed through our heart minds. And it's like a warm embrace that never ends. We discovered that the golden white bowl of light is the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, and purest of the purest purest, eternal love. Then comes well-being, gratitude, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, massive prosperity, and massive abundance. And we're all we discover that this is all a reflection of the gods that we are within these bodies. Now, at the top of this column, we designed it so the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees, 24/7, infinity and beyond. What is golden ocean? Well, it's flooding, permeating, and saturating this planet as we speak, in this now. Head to toe, inside and out, on, in, above, and below. All life, the highest supreme value in the universe, with this, the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love. We are all drops of this golden ocean. We also hold the essence of this golden ocean. Golden ocean is the drops. Drops of the golden ocean. The only illusion is separation. We see our meditative sphere. It's that center circle. We all created this sphere over 4 years ago. It holds heading towards 1,900 of our meditations in perpetual motion. Now, these meditations, every day, 7 days a week, for over 4 years, sometimes twice a day. And this intent is absolutely astronomical. These meditations grow, intensify, and expand every day. They're flooding this planet, on it, in it, above it, and below it. Total focus on total liberation of planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this and now. And it's in full swing. And it cannot be stopped. That's why this meditative sphere can be seen, heard, and felt in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And it just keeps growing, expanding. We can tap into it any time of the day, morning, noon, or night. We are it. It is us. For today, investigate this experience called breathing all day long. Keep bringing your mind back to the breath, following it wherever it flows. Just be with it. If it's shallow, deep, fast, or sluggish, don't try to change your breath in any way. Simply connect to it. Feel it from your heart, as if you're making friends with it. Notice how it changes when you merge with it, and allow yourself to become it fully. I join you in meditation. I'll return to close this out. take an easy breath in through the nose and an easy breath out through the mouth. Be still. You are always having an experience. Just be present to the one that's happening now. If you're demanding to have an experience, you're squeezing out this one and actually missing it. The moment you stop trying to make something big happen, it happens for you. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning, and we will return here Wednesday, April 13th, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call.